My friends, I want to welcome you today, wherever you are, whatever storm you are walking through. I need you to hear this. God is speaking directly to you. Right now, He is saying, stop worrying and start trusting me. I know the weight you carry feels heavy. I know your mind is restless, your heart is anxious, and the battles of life feel too big. But I want to tell you today, your breakthrough is coming. Your situation is not bigger than your God. No matter how impossible things look, He is bigger, stronger, and faithful. So stay with me till the very end, because what I am about to share will shift your perspective, ignite your faith, and prepare you to receive the move of God in your life. My friends, listen carefully to what God is saying to your heart today. He is speaking directly to you in the midst of your fear, your anxiety, your sleepless nights, and your restless mind. He is calling out to you saying, stop worrying and start trusting me. I know it's hard. I know the weight of your problems feels unbearable. I know your mind races trying to figure everything out, trying to control what only God can control. But hear me, worry will not change your situation. It will not add a single hour to your life. It only steals your peace and clouds your vision. God is saying right now, I am with you. I see you. I know your struggles. I know your battles. I know the tears you have cried in secret. He is telling you to stop relying on your own understanding, to stop letting fear and doubt rule your thoughts, and to place your full trust in Him. The same God who has never failed, the God who created the heavens and the earth, the God who parted seas, brought down walls, and raised the dead, that same God is with you today. He has a plan, a purpose, and a future filled with hope, and He is calling you to let go of worry and step into trust. The enemy wants you to feel trapped, paralyzed, and defeated, but God wants you to believe that no matter how impossible your situation looks, He is bigger, He is stronger, He is faithful, and He is already working on your behalf. He is telling you to lift your eyes from your problems and fix them on His promises, to walk by faith and not by sight, and to know deep in your heart that your breakthrough is coming. Even if you cannot see it, even if the doors seem closed, even if the mountains look insurmountable, God is telling you today to stop worrying and start trusting. The enemy wants you to believe that your problems are bigger than your God. He wants you to feel trapped, stuck, and hopeless. He whispers lies in your ear, telling you that your situation is impossible, that there is no way out, that God has forgotten you. But hear me today, that is a deception straight from the pit of hell. The God you serve is the same God who parted the Red Sea, who brought down the walls of Jericho, who shut the mouths of lions, who raised the dead. That same God is fighting for you right now. The enemy may be pressing in, closing doors, bringing storms, but God is bigger than your circumstances. He is orchestrating every detail behind the scenes. The struggles, the delays, the pain, they are not the end of your story. They are the preparation for your breakthrough. You have been battling in your own strength, but God is calling you to stop striving and start trusting. He is telling you to take your eyes off the enemy and fix them on Him, to believe that He is working even when you cannot see it, to know that your breakthrough is closer than you think, and that nothing the enemy meant for harm can stop what God has planned for your good. Worry is a thief, my friends. It steals your peace. It steals your joy. It keeps you up at night, tossing and turning, replaying every problem in your mind, trying to find a solution that only God can provide. It makes mountains out of molehills and magnifies your fears until they seem larger than life. But I am here to tell you today, worry does not change a single circumstance. It does not add 1 hour to your life. It only weakens your faith, clouds your judgment, and blinds you to the truth that God is in control. The moment you give in to anxiety, you take your eyes off the one who holds the universe in His hands and place them on your problem. Faith is the opposite of worry. Faith is trusting God's promises even when the natural eye sees nothing. Faith is standing firm when everything around you is shaking. Faith is believing that the same God who shut the mouths of lions, who healed the sick, who raised the dead, is still in control today. Faith says, I don't see the way, but I believe you are making a way. Worry will try to drown your hope, but faith will anchor your soul. God sees you, my friends. He sees every tear you have cried when no one else was watching. He sees every sleepless night, every battle you fight silently, every prayer whispered in the midnight hour. He knows the burdens you carry, the weight that presses down on your shoulders, the struggles that seem too heavy for you to bear. And I am here to tell you today, He is not distant. He is not far away. He is intimately involved in every detail of your life. The same God who created the heavens and the earth, who commands the stars, who holds the universe in His hands, that same God is watching over you, working behind the scenes, orchestrating every step of your journey. You may not see it, you may not understand it, but He is making a way where there seems to be no way. He is strengthening you, preparing you, and aligning circumstances for your breakthrough. Every delay, every closed door, every trial is not a sign of abandonment. It is a sign of divine preparation. He is telling you to hold on, to trust Him, to stop trying to control everything on your own, because He has not forgotten you, and He is already moving on your behalf. Your waiting season is not wasted, my friends. I know it feels long. I know it feels like nothing is happening. I know it tests your faith, stretches your patience, and makes you question if God has heard your prayers. But I am here to tell you today, waiting is where God does His greatest work. Waiting is where He strengthens your character, deepens your faith, and aligns you with His perfect will. Think of Noah. God told him to build an ark, but it took years before a single drop of rain fell. Think of Joseph, who dreamed of greatness, but went through betrayal, slavery, and prison before the promise was fulfilled. Think of David, anointed as king, but forced to wait years before ever sitting on the throne. In your waiting, God is preparing you, positioning you, and setting the stage for your breakthrough. The delay is not denial. The silence is not absence. God's timing is perfect, and He is never late. Even when it seems like nothing is happening, He is moving behind the scenes, orchestrating circumstances, opening doors, and arranging divine connections so that when the time comes, nothing and no one can stop what He is about to do in your life. Praise and worship are not just acts of devotion, my friends. They are weapons. I know the storms in your life feel overwhelming. I know the chains of fear, doubt, and oppression seem unbreakable. I know the prison of your circumstances feels permanent. But I am here to tell you today, there is power in lifting your voice, in declaring God's goodness, in praising Him even before you see the breakthrough. Paul and Silas were beaten, chained, and thrown into a dark prison, yet they chose to sing and pray. And in that moment of worship, the foundations shook, the doors flew open, and their chains fell off. That same God is alive today. Your praise in the storm will open the doors that fear has tried to keep closed. Your worship in the waiting will release chains that anxiety has bound around your heart. When you lift your voice in faith, you are declaring to the enemy that God is greater than your problem, stronger than your mountain, and faithful to His promises. Worship is not a response to victory. It is the pathway to it. It shifts atmospheres, breaks strongholds, and invites the miraculous into your life. Even when the night seems long, even when the waves crash around you, your praise signals trust in God and activates the power that brings breakthroughs. God can turn what the enemy meant for evil into something good, my friends. I know it seems like the setbacks, the betrayals, the losses, the disappointments are keeping you down, but hear me today. God is a God of reversal. What looks like a closed door is actually a setup for your promotion. What looks like a dead end is actually the pathway to your destiny. Joseph was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused and imprisoned for years. Yet in the end, God turned all of that around and placed him second in command over all of Egypt. The enemy wanted destruction, but God had a plan for elevation. The struggles, the trials, the betrayals, they are not signs that God has abandoned you. They are part of His divine setup. He is using every difficulty, every obstacle, and every challenge to prepare you for your breakthrough, to strengthen your faith, to shape your character, and to position you for what He has already promised. The enemy may intend harm, but God will bring good out of every situation for those who trust Him. He is reminding you today to keep your faith, to hold on, to keep believing, because what Satan meant for evil, God will use for your good, your promotion, and your glory. Stop trying to carry the burdens that were never meant for you to carry, my friends. Stop trying to fight battles in your own strength that belong to the Lord. Stop trying to control every situation, every outcome, every detail. I know it feels like if you don't do it, nothing will change. But hear me today. God is calling you to surrender, to lay it all down at His feet. Matthew 11:28 says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." That rest is not weakness, it is trust. It is saying, Lord, I can't, but you can. I don't know how, but you do. You see, when we try to do it in our own strength, we get weary, we get frustrated, we lose faith, and we miss the move of God. But when we give it to Him, when we stop striving and start trusting, suddenly mountains move, doors open, chains break, and the impossible becomes possible. God is telling you today to release the weight you have been carrying, to stop leaning on your own understanding, and to trust Him fully. He is already working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail for your good, preparing your breakthrough, and He will not fail. Your breakthrough is coming, my friends. I know it has been long. I know it has been hard. I know you have waited, prayed, and held on through seasons of struggle and disappointment. But hear me today. God is faithful. God is mighty. God never fails. The same God who parted the Red Sea, who brought down the walls of Jericho, who raised Lazarus from the dead, that same God is working in your life right now. Nothing is too hard for Him. Nothing is impossible for Him. The enemy may whisper lies, telling you that it will never happen, that your prayers have gone unheard, that your situation is hopeless, but God is telling you the truth. Your suddenly is coming. Suddenly, doors will open. Suddenly, chains will break. Suddenly, the impossible will become possible. Suddenly, provision will appear. Suddenly, healing will come. Suddenly, favor will fall. Your breakthrough will come in God's perfect timing. And when it does, you will see that every tear, every struggle, every moment of waiting was worth it. He has been faithful all along, even when you could not see it, and He will bring to pass everything He promised. Your victory is near, and you must keep standing, keep trusting, and keep praising, because God is about to move in your life in ways you never imagined. My friends, listen carefully. Everything we've spoken about today points to one truth. God is working on your behalf. He sees your struggles, He hears your prayers, and He is orchestrating every detail of your life, even when you cannot see it. Worry cannot change your situation, but faith will. Praise and trust will unlock doors the enemy tried to close. Setbacks are setups. Waiting is preparation. Burdens are meant to be surrendered. What Satan intended for evil, God will use for your good. The same God who parted seas, brought down walls, and raised the dead is alive and moving in your life today. Your breakthrough will come suddenly in His perfect timing, and it will be greater than anything you could imagine. So stop worrying, start trusting, lift your voice in faith, and watch God move. If you are ready to see your breakthrough, don't wait. Subscribe to David Yonggi Hernandez and turn on notifications, because God's messages like this are coming to transform your life. Comment below, I trust God for my breakthrough, if you believe your miracle is on the way. Your faith today will become your testimony tomorrow.